Okay, so before you guys freak out watching this video that I'm about to produce here for tonight, I'm going to post it tonight. Today, I went out to John Deere on my way to Messick's to look at the New Holland high-density baler. At the end of the video, I mean, it's going to be a long video, but the person that I am with, it may surprise you, but let's just be nice because I actually enjoyed myself and I think he did too. So if you don't know who this person is, at the end of the video I will tell you who he is, and if you don't know the history between me and him, it was rocky to say the least. But anyway, we had a good time, went over the baler. He didn't want to say too much about it because he is within that area, and you know, I don't give a shit, so that's just me. But anyways, enjoy this
video. Supposed to videotape this thing.
Yeah, we're going to videotape. I'm not here to beat him up, you know.
You're going to beat him up?
You're not here to beat me up, are you?
Oh, no.
No.
So that was the only problem I ever had with the pickup. Now, it's a shorter chain on the VG940A.
So I'm going to interrupt the video here a little bit. Where that idler sprocket is, that's way up at the top, where they're pulling on that chain, there is no need for that thing to even be on there. There is no need. There is right hand and left hand flighting on that accelerator on the other side, right? There's right and left hand flighting. Now, if they would just take that idler completely out of there and move the flighting from the right to the left and the left to the right, it could turn the opposite direction that it would be at, eliminating that stupid idler sprocket. And there would be no problems there. That would fix that whole entire issue right there. It would take probably a foot of the chain out and it would fix it. And that would be the end of it. They could fix it that easily. That easy. It's just these engineers at this company cannot figure that out. But anyways, back to the video.
My theory is, if you wanted to work on it line, that's why somebody would write a machine line.
Well, you're going to work on anything.
One thing I like about the Deere is the feeding, big heavy duty.
Yeah, I like that too.
I think on that.
I ran one.
I had nothing ever plugging that. But these here, in light straw, wilted, dry straw, it gets real brittle. I cannot get it to go through that rotor there.
When it's dry, it won't.
Very bone dry. So we waited 10, 11 o'clock at night. And they done. And we had no problem. Now, I don't know the neighbor, and you know who I am, I won't mention his name, but he has one, and he had the same problem with the chrome. They wouldn't feed in there, turn the glass.
I never have issues.
So that was a 100-degree day, and then it just, everything, it just everybody shut down.
We're in North Carolina.
We're flying in North Carolina.
So you can't sit to see. Yeah. And it eats it and backs it in. They've changed some things on this header to make it better. But that's the same. Yeah, that's the same. But when right here, I made this thing here is technically not a shield. It's a stiffener for this. Now, I talked to the guy that was out working on my case windrower. We had a problem with case windrower. And he told me, he says, you got that chain on wrong. I was like, how am I going to have the chain on wrong? He says, no, there's two ways you can put the chain on and it'll run properly. You had yours on wrong. Well, I went and I looked at my video because I had plenty of videos of that thing. It's exactly the way it is right here. It is the same, and there's no other way that you can put it on there that everything will work the same direction. I tried mapping it out in my head. This is the way it goes on. This was the biggest problem that we had. It would pull on this. I had these bent. I welded parts there. I took the shield off, which is a stiffener for this whole bracket here. I took that off and I welded a 5/16 inch thick piece of steel onto that thing, and I stopped it from doing what it was doing. Which it was just because it's pulling on this idler sprocket. Idler sprockets are not designed to pull on. They're designed to be pushed against. There's no, it should go the other way. I don't like this. I'm never gonna like it. The other thing is, with that 12 and a half or 15 foot chain, it stretches very quickly. these tensioners, yeah, they take it up. But I've had to replace every single, with that machine, every single one of those sprockets. And you can even see here, they're wearing sharp. I don't know how many bales they got on it, but it's going to wear sharp.
It's been going around pretty, I mean, this is the first event in the area that I know of. And I talked to a guy, he said he only did alfalfa. He would love to see corn fodder go through, but I noticed someone did have corn fodder.
Yeah, no, they did. They put corn fodder through it, which is, yeah, well, that's great. The other, one of the main problems that another one of the main problems I had with every New Holland I ever owned was that.
Yeah.
They were right up tight against it, and it would catch on that corner, and you know, and it would hang up, and then you're out picking it apart.
Here you can see a little bit of a...
I cut these off. I cut them off. I see it's broke. Yeah. It's not unusual. I mean, when I cut them off, then Messick's had them cut them off, and the factory said cut them off. So for a while, they were cutting them off before they ever even...
No, I didn't bring my tape measure. Did they change the width of this compared to
They
this?
claim that the header is wider than the Krone, but it's
very little.
It's like ½ inch. That's what they're claiming. Now, the one thing I do like, and I saw it on the brochure, is this pickup.
Okay.
It has this staggered edge. This was on the crop cutter model that I had on the other one. This worked pretty good. Instead of being straight across like that.
Deere does this, but then they put big heavy square one, the big heavy one. So when that, it just sucks right in.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. I saw that and I was like, boy, I need to put that on the Krone. You know, just not that it has a problem with sucking it in, but those are the ones you'll break. You break the centers and the ends. But I think that's more or less from hitting dirt and stuff.
Big tires on it. You always like the big tires.
These are bigger. These are big. 620s.
Bigger than, yeah.
26s.
That's
That's standard. I mean, that doesn't look any different than what they've done in the past.
Deere just keeps everything low here. Yeah.
Yeah. They would go in one behind the other, right? I like that idea. That's one thing with the Krone, I will tell you, I don't like about the Krone. I don't like the way they've got these things set in here. Because they don't come up from behind like this. They come up through the front. And if you don't do that right, if you don't move this ball up, it'll cut a hole right through that ball, ruining a whole ball. So once you learn what you're not supposed to do, and it costs you, I don't know, $300 or $400 in junk, you got to throw it in a dumpster because it's useless. You know, you learn pretty quick, and then it's okay. But New Holland always did have a decent twine box. I never had a problem with the twine box. I like these tires. That'll float. That'll float.
They probably came up with your idea that you always did.
Oh, I bitched about them and bitched about them and bitched about them. This is, I like this.
I like that.
I like this.
Yeah.
I had this on my last two balers, I guess. I think, yeah, the last two balers that I had. But this is, that's the baler jet, maybe.
What did
Don't
you
touch it,
do?
it'll break, you know.
What did you do?
Oh, they got it cleaned out. It's pretty good. Yeah. Oh, they made that better. That last bale ejector. In some of the later models, or the models that I had, I didn't have that single.
Okay.
There was a single, but they were back behind. They were just right in line with the other two for the last bale ejector.
I was just cleaning my corn fodder on my Deere. They don't have the strength. You let them sit for a few days and then you get it on.
That's the way the Krone is.
You fight that. So I take a grass bale and I feed it through the front,
Yeah.
which is dangerous. But gets it coming, then we hook the skid under with the strap and pull it out. I just don't have the strength.
Mine will push it out, but the problem with the Krone is over time, it'll settle to the back.
Okay.
And then it builds with crap behind it, and I can't get it all the way to the back to push the bale out. So that's a complaint that I have with the Krone. And these are double acting cylinders. I don't know if you knew that. The Krone doesn't have double acting cylinders. The double acting cylinder, because when you go to release this on the Krone, you release the pressure and then there's springs that pull it apart. You really don't, I don't know how it is on the Deere.
I was just trying to look at it and I don't know if they have three up there or not. It's too big.
Well, not the cylinders themselves, but when you go to eject your John Deere, if you release off the pressure off of yours, will that bale go back and forth?
Yes. It lifts the top sides there and it goes out.
Yeah.
But then when you go to lift, these will lift the bale up, and then it'll dig the bottom of the bale out, and you can't get it out.
Yeah, and you can't get it out. Well, the chrome will dig in, and then when you go to reset it, it'll actually pull the bale back up into the damn chamber. So what you do is you leave the tractor run, you know, leave the baler run, and then you'll squeeze it until you know. So you'll pull it out a little bit, and then you'll squeeze it back down again until you get it.
I tried to my density on the screen. I'll put it down and I'll set it at like 100, so it keeps everything down there to hold it down a little bit, not squeezing the bale. Best thing I found is just pushing that bale through it, grab the springs and skid there and drag the thing out.
Well, when we come back from like North Carolina with the straw, we just let the pressure off, reach in and pull them out. You know, 'cause you can pull them out by hand. Yeah, this is the same. I mean, this is still the same tailgate. So this thing is just this piece is just a whole bit.
Correct.
I guess these upper rails, but there's no pressure on these upper rails. These pieces here, they're just corners. And he did get smart about the back of the arms. Did you do with the Heston on top? And then that one's okay. But this is a little light. Yeah, I'd say it's a little light, but I don't think it does a hell of a lot, to be honest with you. I really don't think it does anything because the bale chamber's here. This is a chrome. Now chrome, I don't want to talk too loud, but chrome is about twice as thick as this thing.
We'll do an episode on this one. Not to nitpick it, but I can see some points on it, you know, for the price of this machine.
I don't know what this one costs.
Some guy on Instagram said he knows what it costs, but I didn't get a price on it. I thought Deere was awful expensive.
Deere was, you know, to be honest with you, when I did see what John Deere was asking for that L341, I ran L340. And believe me, if I hadn't ran the Chrome, I'd have bought the John Deere. Some guys were complaining about the John Deere in wheat straw for some reason. I don't know why, but I don't know why. Maybe the issues that you were
I had no problem with it. I don't know. It's all in condition and stuff like
that. Don't break it.
Well, if it breaks that easy, you shouldn't sell it.
Shouldn't break it. I didn't know
Unless you push it. This little corn fodder.
Holy smokes.
You can't hardly even get into the damn thing. That's a puny little flywheel.
What do you call it?
A puny little flywheel.
Puny.
This was one of the things that I was looking at. I like the idea, but do we really need to add that much more stuff to it? I don't know what did you have a hydraulic start on the John?
No.
You don't. I got hydraulic start on the Chromes.
The flywheel is hydraulic on that.
Oh, this is only half.
Everything about the Chrome is going to be a lot heavier.
Right.
But this concept is here to break it, keep the plunger out here so when you go to start it, easy start, away from the bale. Now, all I have is baler assist where I can reverse everything with a keyless. I used it 3 times, I think, since I like working on it. You just run it real slow, reverse, watch it on or something on top. Well, here you got one more thing.
That's the hydraulic pump. That's a hydraulic pump. That's for the pressure and stuff. They look small, but they're all that size. But now the one thing I do like about this, there's a braking system in here. All right, so when you shut that thing off, that brake will apply so that the plunger comes just past that bale and then it stops it. And then when you go to start, it's pulling it back up, so you've already got that inertia to start the baler. Which, as everybody here can say, when you go to start a baler, you shut it off and you got to almost release the pressure off of them to get them to go. I know the
Especially
chromes.
on high moisture.
Oh
on the
yeah,
deer.
yeah. And with the crone, you got to get out tractor, walk to the back, flip the pressure. You can do it from the inside the cab, but it takes too much time. It's easier to send it out. Yeah, I think that flywheel is pretty small. My personal opinion is, but they got airflow to it. And years ago, I don't know, I made a video about this. I said, well, when I was running the new Holland, I said, you know, they ought to make fan blades out of those things. Well, son of a bitch if they haven't.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and it is clean. And I thought that it's clean. Now I gotta say they did a good job about that. I mean, there's dirt and shit flying all over there, but they did a good job there. I think that was a brilliant idea. I was always gonna make blocks and put them on.
The deer solid, and I think the chrome's
Solid. Yeah, it's a solid. It's solid. But this is what they've done is it made this flywheel a lot wider, bigger, taller, or whatever you want to call it. So the inertia is out farther. Maybe they don't need to have this.
We have all the power coming in here, and we got the secure to go up here to run it.
It takes more power. Every time you change one, two, there's two speeds in here. So you come up, and then it's got to go there. There's a lot of power lost here, and then a lot of more power lost even over that change. And then more power lost before you get into the main gear box. I don't know. I would like to see. I don't know. What's the minimum power? Did anybody tell you?
No, the guy said this was more than enough horsepower for alfalfa, but I heard again, you're not doing. This is the T8, I believe.
380. Yeah, this is like with my 8530. Well, it's, you know, I mean, I like the fact that it's a lot more open in there. And you look out. Look at those arms, connecting rod arms on that thing there. They're right up there. See them up in there?
I see.
Yeah. But that's where they want it to stop. And that's where that brake will stop it. So that when you start, it's on its way back up and around. And that nodder. Anybody, I posted that video yesterday, and they were talking about that nodder, that old international nodder. My dad had an old international. Okay, so Teresa got cold and decided that she would go in and take care of William. He was in the car, and that was pretty much the end of the video. If you didn't know who that was Eric Moser, Elm Custom Harvesting. He had sent a message, I guess this morning or yesterday, and he sent some pictures through, I guess it was in Messenger, and reached out and said, hey, I'll meet you up there and we can go over it together. And there was a lot of other things that we discussed. We did get up on top of the baler, and I would have to say I was unimpressed. I was unimpressed with what I saw up there. There was where they made it a high density baler, that was like really strong, but the support that held that whole thing in there just seemed to me like it was rather anemic. But I'm used to looking at a crone, and the crones are put together with such heavy plates of steel that, you know, when you look at something else, would it work fine? It probably would. But because I'm using the crones, it's like, wow, this is thin, and that's thin, and the other thing is thin. Wow, this is thin. And up on the cam, and I wish I had the camera, but Teresa took it. But the cam follower for the Tucker fingers, that was hammered over. And if Neil Messick is watching this, go up to that baler, and on top, on the right-hand side, the cams that are there, they were actually rolled over. I mean, rolled over. And I'm noticeably, like, I thought maybe it was a factory thing, but I touched my hands on it, and it had somewhat sharp edges, and they weren't uniform, and it just looked to me as though that is a problem that is going to cause bigger problems. And that is for the Tucker fingers, or the Tucker arm. So the Tucker arm that runs the Tucker fingers, that is the cam that follows that, and it was hammered dog shit. I mean, it was hammered. Didn't film it, don't think I need to film it, but I don't know how many bales went through this thing. There was a I don't know how many bales went through this, and to be quite honest with you, I've got almost 50,000 bales through the first Krone that I've got. It's got a similar cam system to it. It's not at all even close to even looking like it's hammered dog shit, but that thing, that looks like it's hammered pretty well. I don't know how many bales are through this baler. I guess we could find out. Maybe Neil would be watching this or something, and he could tell me how many bales are through it. I think it's an issue. I think it's going to be an issue. And I will make another video about this. I'm going to make another video about this. There's another video that I'm going to watch, and I would like to actually commentate as I'm going over this video. But yeah. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. Didn't kill Eric Moser. Didn't need to. Didn't feel like I wanted to. He didn't feel like he wanted to kill me. Shook hands when we left. Said it was a good time. We did have a good time. I will say that I enjoyed the time that I spent with Eric Moser. It was all right. It was good. And I would do it again. I would actually go with this guy to a show and walk around and look at stuff. I think it would be cool. But anyway, there you go. Thanks for watching.